Ding ding! Connect the dots. Welcome to another edition of Connect Dots, a podcast that brings people from various walks of life to talk to us about their journey, whatever it is that they are going through, the phases, and the way they are making progress at the end of the day to change the mindset, have paradigm shift, and build resilience among young people, especially in northern parts of Nigeria. On this edition, we brought to you a financial guru. In fact, there is a new cap to the name, which is an ambassador. I think in the course of the program, we'll give you details about what led to getting to this point in time. That's the ambassadorial position at this moment. We're together with Ambassador Aisha Yasmin Zakari, a financial guru who knows the nitty-gritties of finances. When you say finances, it entails a lot of things, liquid cash from the government, individuals, private organizations, groups, and etc. And when you say NGOs, non-governmental organizations, it comes with a lot of things. Some people start with using their personal resources to go through assisting people with basic needs. That's the underprivileged people and all of that. But when you merge the two together, there is a lot of work. The way money comes in from support organizations, from groups, companies, and all of that. So let's delve into the business of the day. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so today it's your area of specialization that we're talking about, finances and the NGO, because you're a financial guru and then you're dealing in lots of NGO activities where you've got your own NGO to support the underprivileged people. When people talk about finances, let's break it down. What does it mean to say finances?
Actually, it's a very interesting question because finance is always the backbone of everything. Like whatever we are trying to do, either positive or negative, we need money, we need to raise money. Whether no matter how simple it is, something as natural as having a child, we need money, and something as natural as death, we need money. So it is quite sometimes surprising that a lot of people are not conversant with that. And I don't know if it's, I don't want to believe that some people plan and gang up, but especially for us women, like a lot of women are not so conversant with finances. So I don't know if maybe the culture has to do with that. It's probably maybe if women are conversant with finances and they have their own money, so probably like cultural societies may not be able to actually allow the women actually to have their own finances, because finance actually gives you power to take control of your life,
yes,
to take decision, and to do almost whatever you want to do. So whatever, like if you have money, like what actually stop you is your own principle, is your own belief. Okay, you have a religion, so you believe your religion says this, you don't want to cross over that line, and everybody has a culture, and you don't want to actually maybe ginger the pot so much. But finance actually gives freedom. That is the way I see it. It makes people free. It allows them opportunities to do so much.
So with this preamble, and I think we've infused women in it, and all we're trying to do is to make sure women are able to be financially stable, they've got independence, and they're able to manage their finances well. And you see that in today's world, when it comes to money, a lot of people are not prudent about it. Because I'm a salary earner, for instance. When I get my salary, I do most of the things I'm supposed to do, and then maybe in the middle of the month or some 10 days after or 10 days in the new month, I'm already broke and all of that. What does it mean to be able to manage finances, to achieve financial stability and even freedom at the end of it?
It's actually having to do with choices and taking very tough decisions. Okay, like you have to be able to differentiate what are your needs and what are your wants. And your needs are the priority that you must have it. Okay, like you must drink water, you must drink food, you must eat food. I mean, but the food, it has to, you can actually categorize that. Okay, maybe you don't want to spend so much money on this, maybe you alternate.
All right.
So, and then of course you have to stay in a house, so then maybe you can take a decision either to stay in a fancy house or to have like a fancy car. So you just alternate in taking the decisions, or whether to be wearing something like in terms of dressing, because you have to dress, Okay, so what are you trying to project? Okay, maybe you just want to dress and then maybe simply, or maybe you want to have a lot of jewelry, things like
to
that.
look classy and all
Exactly.
that.
So those things that you are able to adjust, those decisions you are actually able to take, allows you to have some little money to play with. And I'm talking about anybody, because people will think when you see money to play with, they assume like I'm talking about very rich people. But everyone at his or at her own level have actually an opportunity, no matter how little, to have money that they can actually keep for their own, at their own small level. So they can actually have some little money and then put it into use. So that way you have like more than one stream of income. Okay, like you as a salary person, then you're earning, and then maybe probably your sister or your brother has a business, so you can invest. Or maybe your sister or a brother has a job that is not as demanding as yours. So you and him or you and her, you can decide and say, okay, so what do we do to bring in money? Because the interesting thing is, as long as human beings are existing, that is why in the market of finance we say the greatest asset is population. Like Nigeria, a lot of what do you call it?
The population,
big companies
yes.
are coming to invest. It's not just because of the resources Nigeria have.
It's because of its people.
Yes, unlike what a lot of people think. It's actually the people. So in a place like Nigeria where the population is very high, so you can almost do whatever it is to make money. It's just unbelievable. You will think sometimes the market is shocked, but then just throw in something and before you know it is actually business, and then you are making some money. Yes, yes.
That's a lot.
So basically, in a nutshell, is to make an investment no matter how little, either an investment that is long term, it depends on your target, or maybe an investment that will actually complement and supplement the income you are already having.
Like in a medium term?
Exactly.
Or in a long term?
Yes.
Okay. So investment is another thing, and usually a lot of people might have little or no knowledge about investment, and it still boils around finances.
Yes.
So investing cash, a lot of businesses, or you see startups starting business because they saw someone actually doing it without doing feasibility studies, checking the competitors, the market research, and all of that. Investing for women, what do you think women would do to understand the term investment better, in the sense that you don't need to be present before you invest? Like you need like to create like a source of passive income so that you don't need to be present every other time at that place if you've got like a demanding job like myself.
I will tell you something. I listened to an interview of a very rich lady from Kano, and a very traditional and conservative woman. This is the kind of woman who believes that, okay, maybe you only go out 2 times in your lifetime. That when you get married, you go to your husband's house, and when you die, they take you to the grave. There are some people as conservative as that. So basically, it's saying that the chances of her going out is almost impossible. But you won't believe it, she was able to be one of the richest women of her time. What she was doing, because she had a lot of business IQ, and at that time, of course, the culture was quite very strong. And so she knew there was no way that she's going to go out, set a store or set an office. So she got people she trusted, some of her relatives and some of her
friends.
Yes.
Or people in her circle.
Yes. So they started different kind of businesses. So before you know it, she was actually able to have a lot of investment in a lot of places while she was sitting at home. And when she was interviewed, she said that one of her role models is Nana Khadija, the wife of our beloved Prophet, because she was also one of the richest women of our time. But that was even how she met our Prophet and married him, because she will seek and search for very intelligent, smart, and trustworthy men, and she will send them on business and then to go and buy things and to sell for her. So at the time she did it with our Prophet, she realized that he was able to do more than everybody, and he gave her an account and everything. So basically, we, like anybody at any situation can do it, and there are so many opportunities. What she actually one of her businesses is it Ligidi or something?
Yeah.
It's just like sweet.
Is that local sweet? Mm-hmm.
You tie it in nylon. So she was sitting at home. She wasn't going anywhere. And then she was tying that sweet. And then she was distributing it all over Kano. And then, Kano with Almajiri, because Almajiri, they have their uses too. It's only that sometimes we only focus on the negative. So they will distribute it for her and then bring back money. Because up till now, there are a lot of, I will want to believe majority of Almajiri are good. In the sense that you send them with money, you and your account,
and you return it, yeah.
Yes. So she was doing that. So just imagine. So imagine now as you understand you are quite a figure in this society. Maybe you just start even endorsement business. Yeah. People creating a brand. So before you know it, okay, the people who have met you here and there. So that way, your capital is you.
Yeah, my personal brand.
Yes, what you are investing is you. Okay, because you are worth, you have what it takes to do that.
Right.
So you wouldn't say, okay, you have like a liquid cash, but you invest yourself. And people will actually, I will buy. You see what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, personal branding is very key.
So that one is also something. So, and then, of course, this local adashi that a lot of people in northern Nigeria used to do that.
Contribution.
Yes, exactly. So if like one person is not able to gather money in a long run, so by doing the adashi contribution, then you're able to have good amount of money at once, and then you invest it and do something.
Oh, that's a lot. Like, I'm trying to picture the whole thing. Like, it looks really big and all. And I think it's a long way for us to go to let people be aware of all of this opportunities.
I'll give you another thing.
Okay,
like public toilet. It's a very good business.
Yeah, it is.
Because, just drink 3 bottles of water. You will want to pee, I'm telling you. Nothing can stop you. So, so if there is public toilet, and of course the government has actually has signed into UN agreement of what do you call this, stopping of public I don't know, defecating in public. So government has agreed and signed onto this. So it means that anybody who is caught peeing or defecating in public,
that's the law that is refusing open defecation,
exactly.
Right?
So it means that is a big market. So basically there is a market in even defecating. You understand?
Absolutely.
Because then we just have to ease ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so I think from there, because you're a finance guru, we need to go a little bit into the details of where you started your career from before we go back into the NGO base. So let's quickly go into where you started your career from as a financial person.
Okay, you won't believe it. I actually didn't even study finance as an area of studies. But all I know that I knew, ever since I knew myself as a human being, I knew that I wanted to be free, in the sense that I want to do what I want to do, and I realized I need money for that. So it's either I go around begging people to give me money, or I sit down and teach myself. And the beauty of now is there is so much access. There is book, there is internet, so you can just study, you can self-taught. And then because all my life I work with NGO, so an NGO, as you are growing into NGO, they give you a work as a consultant that is a big responsibility you have to account for. So it means that for you to do the job well, you have to know actually how to keep documents very well. You have to know how to do the accounts very well. And then you have to follow the money. Because I realized that when you follow the money, then you will actually not get lost.
Oh, wow.
Because when you follow the money, you know where this happened, why this doesn't happen, why this doesn't happen. So then I realized then ignorance of finance is not an excuse. Everybody ought to know. Yeah, so that was how I started, especially when I started my own NGO, Touch Hope Foundation. I realized I need to account for all the money, my personal money that I put into it, and the money that other people invested because they believe in me. So even if they do not say, okay, give us accounting of what you are doing, then at least they feel better when I come back and say, okay, this is what happened, this is what happened.
Oh, wow. So that was where you just started from. When you were studying, what did you study?
Well, I study a lot of these guys. You won't believe it. You know this guy, Rich Dad,
Poor Dad,
Oh, yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Exactly. I read a lot of his books. He was my first point of reading. And then
With finances.
Yes. And then there is this book that is actually written by a woman also. She was actually encouraging women to venture into finance. I have forgotten her name, but she also wrote a book.
Okay.
And I really follow it diligently. I was reading it. And especially because I said, when you do something at a time you want to do it and you feel you need it, and then
everything boom,
falls into place.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So with this, we'll quickly go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the career path and getting down into what it took to start an NGO that is supporting the underprivileged and bringing change in our society. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Ding ding! Welcome back. It's still Connect the Dots, a podcast that will bring people from various walks of life to you to talk about their journey, the things they're doing right to get to where they are, the things they want to change in their societies, and how they're going about it to make the changes. And quickly, we'll take a message from Hanana Nigeria Limited, where we'll flash you some of the key products that they've got. It's a bespoke fashion company where you get everything bespoke dresses, abayas, and whatever you want to wear as a young woman or as a woman generally. So quickly, let's go back to the discussion. Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so before we went on the break, we spoke about finances, financial stability, financial independence, your own career, how you started and all of that. Quickly, let's go into what you studied in the uni, maybe from uni level, first degree, second degree, and your third degree, and see the way it's all connecting at the end of it.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I actually started with studying geography and physics.
Geophysics.
Yes, geophysics, but mainly focusing on geography because I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to fly. I wanted to see the world and write poetry whenever I travel. So, but of course at home I got discouraged because they say, okay, how do a woman keep flying and globetrotting, and then so it means you're not going to settle. And so it's kind of like not a gender-friendly
career.
Yes. So then I said, okay, then if I'm going to do that, it has to be something on the side. So then I said, what else actually is my other passion? So I knew I wanted to serve people because I have a very strong empathy that when I see things going wrong, I really want to correct it. And when I see something doing good, I really want to be part of it and add to it. So then I said, okay, the second thing is probably to go into law and study law so as to create policies or maybe as to actually punish the people who are doing something wrong. So basically that was it. And at the end, I just merged everything. Then I said, okay, so what do I do now? I said, I need a voice for me to actually like augment all the things I have studied and all the things I read. And then and another thing also that I'm really, truly passionate about is Islam. Because for me, if something is as profound as a way of life as I have taken Islam, then I need to find a way to integrate it in all my life in such a way that, okay, I know that what I'm doing is okay with me and it's okay for me and there is no conflict. So that was actually, I think, the major reason why I went to studying of Islamic law. Yes, actually in Sudan, because they have this Islamic law studies. They do it in Nigeria in UK. And so I needed to actually basically balance everything in my mind because I'm somebody who is very passionate. When I'm doing something, I put my heart and my soul into it, and if I don't want to do something, then I really don't want to do it. So that was it. So then I said, okay, I know that I need to understand my religion because it's part of the life I want to live. And then I want to live a life that I actually feel I'm actually independent, in control
of your activities and everything about your life.
Yes. And I know that it's only your parents who will actually do whatever it is you want. Even if you marry the richest, who is the richest person in the world now?
In the world?
They say the guy with the expensive bags.
Which of the expensive bags? Because I used to think it was Warren Buffett at some point, and there is Jeff Bezos, like the richest people in the world right now.
From last week, there is this guy who has these designer bags.
Okay,
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton?
Yes.
Louis Vuitton?
Yeah, he's a French guy. He actually overtook them and became the richest guy. So I want a situation whereby, in as much as in my religion, like when you get married, the person takes care of you. But I want to have my own money, because then I realize Islam didn't stop that. I look at the history of all the greatest women in the world, and most of them, they were independently doing something. Like Nana Khadija, she had her own money. In fact, she even employed the Prophet. Even though our conservative men don't want to say, there was the guy I told, I said, see how you are treating your wife. Do you know our Prophet was talking very carefully when he was talking to them, because she was his boss.
Absolutely.
So but really, because some people tend to be too conservative when it comes to understanding of Islam. So some people don't want you to joke about it, or rather don't want you to really spell out the fact. So then I said, I want to be able to travel. I want to see the world. And it's even in our Quran. Allah said, won't you travel so that your mind and your scope will become wider?
Wider, yeah.
So I said, I want to see the world. I want to travel. And I want to be able to have my own money, so that it's not going to be somebody who say, oh, I don't have money, you cannot travel. And then I want to support my passion. I don't want to go start begging people. I said, I want to see that we have orphanages whereby abandoned children or who lost their parents, they can be taken care of. And then I want to see toilets being built, because I'm somebody who is very clean. It breaks my heart when I see, what do you call it, a lot of dirt by the street. I said, this is not our religion. This is, I don't know where people got to this. And then, of course, along the line, like I said, anything, there is money in it. So you do something good and then you make money. So it doesn't get better than that.
Yes, it doesn't get better, I know, right?
Yes.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about finances, let's go back into the NGO that you started.
Yeah.
What drove you into starting the NGO, and what do you actually do in your NGO? Then we'll go to the finances that comes into the NGO.
Well, the NGO, actually, we have a motto. We call it service to humanity. Basically, we just look at the problem that is needed to be sorted out. So like, we have lawyers working with us, where maybe there is a problem, then the lawyers, we sit down with them, and then pro bono is done, basically like free service. And then like a person will be represented. And then another thing also is like, there are some villages, you wouldn't believe it, in Nigeria, that actually some still do not have good water. So then
portable drinking
exactly
water.
So we go and then we do boreholes. And then there are some places whereby the borehole, because that particular village, they have a lot of stone. So it's very difficult to actually open
rich water.
Yes. So that one, I even had to go around and get partners so that we could do it, because then it became more than what we could do. And then, in as much as some people will say a lot of bad things about Nigeria, but really there are a lot of good people. There are some people who wants to do something, they have their money, but they don't know how to go about it. So there are some people who have actually donated, and they said they don't want anybody to know. It's like, because in Islam, you know, they want exactly, when you give from your right hand, the left hand should not know. So there are some people who really practice that. In as much as, of course, there are some people who actually say it out, maybe not necessarily because they want to brag, but basically to encourage other people to do it. But you know, it's understanding, how do you understand the whole thing, and what is your intention? I think that Allah
sees your intention.
Exactly,
right?
That is what Islam is. Anyway.
So you started the NGO.
Yes.
Just to support humanity and change the narrative in our society.
So when I do my consultancy with the UN, that is where I get my main money from. Then I also set up a company, and the company is basically just to do whatever business is there to make money, as long as it's halal.
Okay.
Like if you want to change your glasses, I'll say, give me the money, I'll go buy it. Probably I'll run to Kano or Lagos and buy it and say, steak. And then I make my profit.
That's good.
And then any profit, as you make it, so then I actually invest the money back in the company. I actually divide it into 3 because that is what Islam. Because we actually have Islamic finance. So that is what Islamic finance said. It's also another area I studied. It says that you divide your money into 3. One you use for yourself, one you use for friends and relatives, and the one you use for charity. So the one for charity, I put it to the foundation, Touch Off Foundation. And then the one for me, I kind of try to enjoy a little.
You need to.
Yes. And then the other one, I put it back.
Yeah, so quickly on Islamic finances, can you be more broad with the little bit of explanation with Islamic finances?
It's basically sharing the risks and sharing the profit. And now the whole world is even realizing this is the best way to go about it, because then it used to be interest, basically in the sense of appealing to people's greed. So you bring your money, you get interest. But then later people realize, no, actually, when somebody is collecting interest, there will be a time whereby they will catch you, because how they will do it, when you've collected so much interest, and then you also invest your money into something, so then profit, or rather, instead of profit for you to make profit, then they'll say, okay, you have to pay taxation. So in a way, it's kind of a complex cycle. You take this and then this one come and catch you.
Yeah, but in terms of usury, because when you say finances, if you're looking at the regular financial institutions in Nigeria, it might not really favor the Muslim community, right? So, but there is the Islamic banking or financing organizations. So to avoid usury, how does it really work?
You invest in actually banks or in businesses that does not do interest. You basically share the responsibility of doing the project, and then the profit is shared according to the investment, and the loss is also shared according to the investment. And because people know that they are sharing the expenses, they are sharing the loss, so people have a way of bringing in their best. They realize when you do Islamic banking, it actually encourages people to be more prudent and to be more, accountable in doing the whole thing. Unlike if it's actually interest, they know that no matter what happens, they're going to get interest anyway. And then, of course, when something is wrong, they're not going to take the loss because they are going to get their interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you take UK now, it's actually the biggest actually Islamic finance in the world, and it's UK.
Okay.
They just realize, okay, there is so much profit in it, and they all go. Oh, even in Nigeria, you won't believe it, the majority of those who are coming all out to invest in Islamic banks are evil Christians.
Okay.
Because then they see the profit.
Oh, that's lovely. And lastly, because of time, let's go quickly into NGO financing. How do you get finances for the NGO?
The interesting thing is very difficult to get it in Nigeria because the taxation system is kind of complex. Yeah, because usually what happens is either when tax is actually taken, then some percentage is given to NGOs, because basically NGO is supporting the work of the government. Or on their part, the companies, they actually give it out to the NGOs because they ought to do corporate social responsibility. So in Nigeria, those areas are still gray. So it's a little challenging sometimes because Nigeria is a very rich country. And then you go to either the Arab world or the Western world and start saying, okay, how do we actually bring in money like that?
Wow.
Yeah, but there are some few people who have actually started, alhamdulillah. I think people just need to have more awareness of it. But really, the NGO money, most of it, the majority of it, comes either from the Arab world or the Western world, international. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think we can quickly delve into financial inclusion. Quickly. What does it mean to have financial inclusion?
It actually breaks my heart when I see most of the meetings I do. You see a room of 100 people, of 50 people, sometimes even 100, and then you see only me as woman. So when I see these finance ministers, the ladies, oh my God, it makes me so happy. I say, oh, okay, there is a bit more, because there is kind of encouragement when you see a minister of finance. Ngozi, you see Kim, what do you call it, Kemi, who left, and then this lady. And then it's kind of an encouragement to your ladies to see that, okay, these ladies are ministers, so I can aspire to learn it, and it's really something very good.
Okay.
But really, what is obtainable on the ground, there is a lot of women who are not inclusive. And then no matter how we say it, the reality, a lot of the situation is a lot of Muslims also are being disenfranchised, because how many Islamic banks or how many banks do we have that actually do Islamic banking? When you look at it against the backdrop of the population of Muslims in Nigeria, and a lot of Muslims wouldn't want to actually do interest finance.
Thank you so much. That's a lot. I know we can come back to another part. Thank you so much for being part of this episode. It's been all learning throughout. And that's it on this week's Connect the Dots. We've been speaking to Ambassador Aisha Yasmin Zakari, a financial guru, an NGO person who's been supporting underprivileged people to give them basic life stuff like basic amenities, infrastructure, some places like building well and boreholes and all of that. And still, we'll be bringing more people to you that will talk about critical issues that would affect people positively, their journey, and every other thing in between that would give other people motivation to keep on doing what they are doing or what they intend to do in the long run. Thank you so much for joining. Ding ding, and it's Connect the Dots.